Welcome to the Choristers. Welcome to the Choristers Lounge. Welcome to the Choristers Lounge. Come on in and sit on down. Listen as we break it down. From hymns above to songs I knew, sharing the things important to you. Come on in and sit on down. Listen as we break it down. The choristers at the choristers lounge.
Hello, Lounge family. This is Matthew Caldwell again, welcoming you back into the Choristers Lounge. Want to thank you all for your continued attachment to our wonderful podcast that we have going here. Always joined by the engine that makes this whole operation go. Brother Blake Housen, who's behind the screen, behind the scenes, pulling all the strings to bring this production to you. We want to thank you first and foremost. I know it's been a little while since we were able to post an episode kind of going through the Passover Memorial and just some other things, trying to get our bodies reacclimated after the Passover Memorial and trying to deal with some of these other germs and things like that. But we're back at it. I think you're going to enjoy the guest that we have today. But of course, before we do that, just want to thank you all that have formally attached yourselves to the Choristers Lounge by subscribing to our YouTube channel. We thank you. The Choristers Lounge does not work without your engagement and without you spreading the word and the good news and glad tidings of joy. So for those of you that have already done that and continue to let the word go forth, we thank you. For those of you that have not taken the opportunity to do so, please subscribe to the channel, like, share, subscribe to the various social media platforms that are out there. If you're listening to us by way of podcast, whether it's Apple Podcast or Spotify or any of the other podcast platforms that are out there, just thank you for doing that. Again, we can't thank you enough for the support that we continue to have here in the Choristers Lounge. I think today's episode is probably the beginning of the end of season 2. So we have a few more episodes that are going to be part of the conclusion of season 2. And like I said, I think today's guest is going to be one that's really going to be enjoyable for all of our Lounge family. So without further ado, there are just certain people, just by the presence, their presence, their example, have come to be beloved just around the kingdom. And the guest today certainly is in that mode. She has just been a staple. And if there is such a word as a staple, a person being a staple, this person, our guest today, certainly fits that bill. So without further ado, I present to some, introduce to others, reacquaint to most, the head soprano of the Church of God and Saints of Christ, Saint D. Serena Flippens. Saint Serena, it is an honor, a privilege, and a joy to welcome you into the Choristers Lounge.
Thank you. I make it as an honor to me to be asked to do this.
Yes.
It has been, when I first heard that you wanted me to come, I was like, nervous, but I'm thankful.
Yes, ma'am.
Very thankful.
Absolutely. We are just so honored that you carved out the time to spend here in the lounge. And I just to kind of get us started, we kind of want to start with kind of your early journey and your beginnings in the choir. So you can take us back as far back as you would like, but just, where did you grow up in the congregation? And when were you appointed as a singer in the choir? And what was that process like?
Okay, I grew up in the First Tabernacle, Jacksonville, Florida.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
I officially joined the choir around the age of 12, right after the immersion. Right around that time is when I became a part of the choir. But
Mm-hmm.
the choir was already a part of a lot of the youth there in Jacksonville because even before we were officially in the choir, we had the opportunity to work as maybe the YPIL or the younger saints to every Sabbath afternoon, we actually put on a program
Mm.
service and we had singers, people to recite songs, solos, duets, quartets. That was just part of every Sabbath. So even
Yes.
before we were officially put in the choir, we kind of had that experience as far as the music is concerned, growing up in that
Yeah.
tabernacle.
Yes,
Very much
man.
a part. So, once I was appointed as a choir member, I was put on the soprano side, and I had very good role models as far as people that were there that helped to nurture me as a soprano. I can think of people like Saint Rebecca Black, who was
Yes.
our Sabbath school teacher and a composer as well, and also my cousin Becky, Rebecca Gaynor Collins, Cecil and Flora's mom. She was the first
Yes.
for me. So I ended up getting to the point where I ended up sitting right next to her at a certain point.
Mm.
So she was an inspiration as well. And then I do have two older soprano cousins, that I definitely admire that were part of my upbringing in soprano is my
Yes,
cousin
man.
Gail Johnson and my
Yes.
cousin Flora.
Yes.
So
Yes.
they were excellent sopranos. And so, I learned a lot from them. And I'm so glad that I have the opportunity to sit side by side with my cousin Flora at the gatherings as well. So all of
Yes.
that was part of my upbringing and part of my start in the choir in
Yes,
Jacksonville.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, I know you leaned in a little bit on some of your influences inside of the congregation.
Hmm.
Did you ever have any musical training outside of the congregation? And did you
Oh
have
yes,
any?
as a matter of fact, music has been part of my life, all my life that I can remember. Music was always in my household. My mother is a composer, and if we weren't listening to COGASOC music from tapes from of old, we were also listening to. My mother played classical music all the time. So that
Mm-hmm.
kind of put me in the mode of when I started in elementary school, I started playing the violin. I went to the
Yeah.
violin. And then when I got to seventh grade, I decided to join the band. So I started playing the flute. And in the meantime, I started learning piano as well. So all of that was going on at the same time. And by the time I got to middle school, eighth and ninth grade, all the way up to 12th grade, I decided that I wanted to play the cello. So I
Mm.
started the cello at that time, and I found out that that was the instrument for me,
Okay.
playing the cello. And then I ended up joining like the symphony, Jacksonville Youth Symphony, as well. So I played all the way up until I got to the 12th grade. Once I graduated from high school,
Mm-hmm.
and I went on to Florida A&M University as a journalism major. But at that time, the band was the main thing there, but I know I didn't want to do band. So one day I went to a convocation and the concert choir performed my freshman year. And when I saw them perform, I said, I want to be a part of that.
Wow.
So I found out how to join. So I auditioned for the choir at Florida A&M University, the concert choir, my freshman year. And that took me on a whole different journey as far as music and training and everything. Dr. Vernon L. Smith was the choir director there, and he was a student of Roland Carter, who is very well known in choral music and a composer as well. So when I joined the choir, I learned a lot as far as technique, training, and different things, and the way to sing, and the voice that I knew that I had as far as what type of soprano I was. And it was intense. And I spent so much time in the music hall there at Florida A&M that a lot of people thought I was a music major
Mm-hmm.
because I was there almost every day. in the music hall, in the concert choir. But I was actually a journalism major, but I toured with the concert choir. So I learned a lot of techniques and different things like that, formal training through Florida A&M's
Yes.
concert choir.
Yes. Yes.
And
That
other
is
outside,
amazing.
yes, outside influences also. I used to admire Leontine Price as a
Yes.
soprano and Jesse Norman. I would see those ladies sing, and I was like, wow, that is. I mean, I would get goosebumps just listening to them. So
Yes.
I guess it was just it's always music has just always been a part of my being. So
Yes.
it just once I got to college, it just took me on another level as far as vocal music is concerned.
Yes. Yes. So I wrote down. You said violin, cello, and flute. So you had some
And
instrumental
piano.
and piano.
And
That's the one I forgot. That's the one I forgot. So
yep,
you had that instrumental foundation, and then you had the vocal foundation as well. So I mean, you got it from many different avenues within this musical realm. And you mentioned your mother, just for the sake of the record. Just let's call your mother's name.
Saint Abigail Virginia Eves Jones. Used to be Grand
Amen.
Leah, Church of God is His
Yes.
Strength. Yes, that
Yes,
talking about a role
indeed.
model and someone that I just could never replace because she was my everything. She was my
Mm,
everything, and she steered me in the right direction, and I'm so thankful for her teachings through my life.
yes, ma'am. Amen. And amen again. And amen again. So, kind of as we're moving through and you're matriculating, through college and things like that, I think we kind of get to our foundational question here in the lounge. So, as we're making your transition into choristership, when, where, and by whom were you appointed a chorister?
Okay. I after I finished my degree at Florida A&M, I stayed in Tallahassee for about a year or two after that. Then I moved back to Jacksonville after that, and then in 1988, out of the clear blue, Rabbi John H. Eves Sr. appointed me as a chorister. I just looked at him. I said, "Really?" I mean, I'm so used to just singing in a choir. I did not think that I would be appointed as a chorister, but he
Yes,
appointed me a
ma'am.
chorister in 1988. So I've
Yes,
been trying
ma'am.
to do whatever I need to do at the time, and every time I think about him, I think about the fact that he is the one that gave me
Yes.
that position.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And I think that a lot of times these appointments are given to us based on the potential that we have, and we may not even know how our journey, is going to get us, or where it's going to lead us. So when we were able and blessed to interview brother Cecil, I know he and you have a similar trajectory in terms of how you all landed there a few hours up the road. So just a little
Right.
bit, just talk a little bit about how you ended up in Belleville in Canaan Land.
In Canaan land. Okay. How I ended up in Canaan land. I was fortunate to start communicating with one of the brothers in
Yeah, that's
Belleville.
it. That's
Right.
it.
Okay. And then after that, things happened, and the Lord
Sure.
blessed us to be able to unite in holy matrimony, and I got married to Brother
Amen.
James Flippens Jr. And that's
Yeah.
how I ended up leaving Jacksonville and moving up to Belleville, and that was in 1990.
Yes,
In the
man.
year
So okay,
1990.
so 2 years after your appointment as a okay, okay, all
Yes.
right, and
Yes.
and, and so the reason that I kind of going in that order kind of takes us into this next major phase of your musical contribution to the congregation. So just there is a whole generation probably younger than me. I'll say from me under, and I was born in the year that you were appointed a chorister, right? So
Mhm.
I know that you have been a chorister for 38 years.
Yes.
Um, and there's a whole generation that knows you as the head soprano of the Church of God and Saints of Christ. Um,
Yes.
they've seen you at Passovers, assemblies, holy days. You there in your seat. So just take us back, and I actually remember um, the day. I actually remember the occasion that you were, I would say, unveiled, so to speak, as the head soprano. But what do you recall about that? Was it a surprise to you? Was there anything that led up to it that we may not
Um,
have been aware of?
no, that particular day. Well, I mean, at that time, I knew that Saint Dorothy Wagner's health um, was not as good as she wanted to be, and all of us wanted to be as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess in my mind, I just didn't think about the fact that because I've admired her all my life, and did not think, you know, past that, the fact that oh, okay, if her health is declining, who is going
Yeah.
to take her? I didn't, that didn't even come across my mind,
Right.
So um, that particular Sabbath, I was sitting at the end seat on the front row, and that's where the choristers would sit. And I call them associate choristers because the choristers that were not made in Belleville, but they still
Mm-hmm.
had the time. So we
Yes.
would sit at the end of the row, and I think St. Valerie was the one that sat out front at that time. And all I know is I saw Elder Plummer get up on the pulpit, and I wasn't sure what he was getting ready to do. I thought he was just going to do remarks. I really didn't know what was happening. And then all of a sudden, he called my name out, Saint Serena Flippens. As of today, you are appointed the head soprano, and they escorted me up to that front seat, and I'm looking around like, what, when, how, you know um it yeah, like I said, it was overwhelming. I put it that way because I'm just thinking the fact that all of my life, how I used to admire St. Dorothy Wagner, in that
Yes.
seat. How I remember coming to various gatherings, and if we had a rehearsal at the gathering, even though I was sitting way further back or whatever, I would always for some reason find my way close to her so that I can hear, because I was determined. I wanted to hear how the soprano, I want to make sure that I sang the soprano the way it's supposed to be sung. And if she
Yes.
was the soprano, I felt she would know. So
Yeah.
I would try to listen to her, not knowing years later, this is in the old tabernacle, not knowing years later that I would have to occupy that seat.
Yes.
So, I mean, when I think back on things, I say, God is something else. you know,
Absolutely.
Things just happen, I guess, the way God wanted to be. And, if you would have told me 2, even 3 years before, 88, I was one of the chorister, and I moved here in 90. And then here we are in 1999, you know, a year or two before that, that's something I would never thought of
Sure.
happening with me.
Yes, indeed.
And then, when it happened, a couple of people said, "How does it feel to be seated there?" And I tell them all the time, it's not a glory thing at all. I said it's an obligation. You have to have discipline. You are expected to be there. If no one else comes, they expect you to be in your seat. You
Yes.
know, it's a lot of work. It's not
Mm-hmm.
easy. It's not
Mm-hmm.
easy. But I'm thankful that God has given me a portion of His Spirit to do whatever I need to do to
Yes.
uphold the position. And I'm thankful for all of the various sopranos that are around me.
Yes.
That for their help, because I don't take it for
Sure.
granted. I don't try to push myself out there, say that I am the head, and
Right.
no, it's not. It's a team effort.
Sure.
It's a team. All of us should be working together for the glory of God.
Yes.
No big I and big I, big me, and little you. No, none of that. None of that.
Yes.
It's a
Yes.
choir. It's supposed to be unity.
Correct.
So
Yes.
it's.
Abs.
I'm thankful. I'm just thankful.
God bless. God bless, and thank God for your example. I can't highlight and stress that point enough. You talked about the obligation, the discipline, the expectation of your presence to be instant, in season and out of season. There have been times when one of the choristers may be in the middle of the floor, and they may have a song in mind, and they may be struggling to find a pitch, so they're going to lean in to you,
Yes.
right? And you have
Yes.
to be ready to go right then, right
Yes.
there. It happens. It happens for you all the time, and every
Yes.
time, every
Yes.
time, Saint Serena, you meet the mark. So God bless you. Like I said, for that generation, so I'm from 1999 to 2026 is 27 years. So there are
27.
there are people in that age group of your son, like say short, a little younger
Yes.
than me, all right? That where
Mm-hmm.
you are all that they know. You are all that
Mm-hmm.
that they remember. They may not know, they may know the name, right? Saint Dorothy Wagner,
Mm-hmm.
but they just never had the opportunity to to meet her. But you have
Yes,
certainly
because
been a shining example.
I think about my son. I was carrying my son when St. Dorothy Wagner passed.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah,
It's been that long. It's been
yes,
that long.
ma'am. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, and just for Courses Lounge, when say Serena said Elder Plummer, that's Elder Charles David Plummer,
Charles David.
our late
Yes.
grand bandmaster. And I
Yes.
remember that. I was
Yes.
I was there.
Yes.
I remember that. So, and you talked about the discipline, and I kind of want to lean on that a little bit more. So, when it comes to learning and retaining songs, notes, things like that, do you have any habits or techniques that you found helpful, that you may want to share with our
Um.
family here?
Well, a lot of like I stated before, I used to listen to. I mean, I still do. I listen to a lot of old tapes. You
Mhm.
know. So, what I try to do is to um, listen to the pitches in the various tapes or whatever. And I
Yes.
noticed sometimes when some of the songs, well, a lot of the songs that were sung, they were
Yes.
sung at a certain pitch for one thing,
Yes. Hmm.
and the pitch was maintained all the way through.
Hmm.
Okay. And so when I hear certain pitches or whatever, I automatically know, okay, this is going to be okay. If we're able to maintain this pitch, it's going to be
Yeah.
okay. But if we pitch it too high, sometimes it drops faster
Hmm.
because people are trying to reach and they can't get there, you
Yes,
know.
ma'am.
And then if we pitch too low, then it might drag, whatever.
Hmm.
So, by listening to those, I mean, to me, they were very, very much teaching tools. Listening
Yes.
to those old tapes and try to think of the pitch to try to keep it up, as
Hmm.
much as possible and not try to sing under the note.
Yes.
Um, and there's certain techniques that you have to really use. Your diaphragm, you have to work on doing what we need to do to strengthen our diaphragm because our breathing has a lot to do when it comes to pitches and singing. The way we position our head, our chin should be straight and not like this because even when I'm talking, you can see a difference. If
Yes.
I'm like this and I'm here like this, it's a difference. Okay,
Yes.
so to make sure when we're singing, we need to open our mouths. We don't sing like this. That's not the way to sing. You can't understand what I'm saying hardly because I'm not opening my mouth. And my father used to talk about it all the time. He said, you have to open your mouth. Sometimes you have to look ugly in order to sing because you have to open your mouth and project the voice out there to make
Yes.
sure that,
Yes.
that you're singing and diction.
Yes.
also very important. I think a lot of times, I think about when you're growing up or whatever, you think you hear what the words are, and you don't realize what the words are until you
Yes.
look at the print and notice, oh, that's what they're saying.
Yes.
So that's something else that I think that we could definitely work on to try to the diction, working on our breathing to make sure that we do,
Yes.
and taking care of ourselves as well.
Absolutely.
Big, big,
Absolutely.
big thing. Singers, if you want to sing, you have to take care of yourself. Try to stay healthy. Try to stay hydrated. Be careful of what you intake, as far as foods and things like that, especially when you know you have to sing. Dairy products and certain sweets and certain things like that. They're not good for your vocal cords. So um, it's a lot. It's more to just being in the choir and calling yourself a
Hmm.
singer.
Yes.
It's a lot. It's a lot of work. If you want to be good, it's a lot of work,
Yes.
and you have
Yes.
to work on it constantly. Be consistent about it as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that was actually going to be the next question, just talking about, how you've been able to maintain your longevity, any vocal care tips, things like that. But before I kind of lean back into that, you mentioned your father. So for the sake of the record, let's call your
Oh,
father's name.
my father was Deacon Broward T. Jones.
Yes,
That
ma'am.
was my father.
Yes, ma'am. It's important
Great
to call
Deacon.
call these names. Yes, important to call
Yes.
these names for the people that help to shape our journey. Now, as far as the vocal care, the longevity, you answered that a little bit. Was there anything from your days in college, with the concert choir, any tips that you remember, being taught, at that point that you kind of carried with you throughout these years as well? I love what you said
Sure.
about you said something about what we intake and things like that, but you talked
Yes.
about when we sing. And one thing I've always loved about you saying, Serena, you have a very expressive singing face, and that's it's a
Yes.
beautiful
Yes.
thing, right? It helps us to,
Yes.
to enunciate and for our diction and things like that.
Yes.
And I think that's very important for us to hear. Sometimes people in my generation, little younger, we kind of want to be cool and stuff like that, want to look a certain way. That's all right, guys, its place. But we also have to understand that something is taken away when we're not letting, fully utilizing this wonderful tool that the Lord gave us, in our fakes and
Right.
our cheeks and everything like that. So, just
Exactly.
anything you can share relative to
Yeah.
that.
Just the main things that I was talking about as far as taking care of your body, taking care of
Yeah.
yourself. Um, if you're able to do just some exercises every now and then, that will help as well, because we are not only a choir but singers, but we prance and we
Yes.
march.
Correct.
So we need to keep ourselves in shape as much as possible. And I'm talking to myself as well, because I know I need to do better when that comes.
I'm with you, Saint
Just
Serena. I am guilty party number
exactly
one. I'm guilty.
right. But I mean, just your techniques. When I talk about the diction, I'm talking about just, for example, when we're singing, our tongue should be at the bottom of our mouths. It shouldn't obstruct the voice that's coming out. Even when we hum, with our mouths closed, our mouth
Yeah.
should still be open.
Mm.
There's a way to hum. Your mouth is still open, but your lips are pressed together that way as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
Um, but as far as vocals, we just have to be careful. And a lot of us, me included, have issues with sinuses and
Yeah.
allergies and
Yeah.
everything. So you need to, take care of that as well. Some people are on medication, sometimes they take the saline drops,
Yeah.
or the saline mist or whatever to help clear your sinuses and things like that. When you're taking those antihistamines, you definitely have to stay hydrated when you take that, because antihistamines have a tendency to dry you up. So,
Right.
to sing um, vocal singing, you have to, keep hydrated. That helps
Mm.
a lot.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, and then just be careful about your voice. One thing that Dr. Vernon L. Smith mentioned to me, when that Leontine Price stated about how she's able to sing so many years, that she's saying, when you talk about having money in the bank, you have the principal, then you have the interest or whatever. She
Yeah.
said she didn't sing on the principal, she sang on the interest. In other words, don't overexert your voice all the time. I know a lot of times
Yes.
you want volume, and it's good to have volume, but there's a way to do it without singing too hard and too loud, because that can definitely hurt your voice by singing
Mm-hmm.
too hard and too loud. So we just have to think about um, preserving our voice. If we sing
Yes.
hard, hard, loud, loud, high, high all the time, we're not going to be able to preserve our voices.
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
the singers of old, they were able to sing long time. You
Yes,
know,
indeed.
a lot of us are having issues already, and we haven't sung as long as some of them have.
Yes, ma'am.
Because of the way we just have to take care of our voices, because this is an instrument.
That's
You
right.
know, it's an instrument, and you have to take care of it.
Yes.
So it's a lot, and there are things that you can kind of look at online. I just
Mm-hmm.
happened to come across this thing that I probably would send to you. They just showed
Mm-hmm.
techniques about singing, and just went down the line about different things that you should do as a singer to help preserve your voice and to
Yes.
learn different terms. For example,
Yes.
some singers want to be choristers. If you're going
Mm-hmm.
to be a chorister, you should be expected to be able to learn or to teach songs. And some in teaching some of the songs, you need to learn some of the vocabulary when it comes to music.
Yes.
Learn what some of these different things are about.
Yes.
Arpeggio, a, a, a crescendo, decrescendo,
Crescendo, right? Decrescendo. Yeah,
yes,
absolutely. Piano, pianissimo.
staccato,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
all of vibrato, all of that. You should
Yeah.
know something. If you're a chorister or expect to become a chorister, you need to learn a little bit about music
Music.
and the
Yes.
various terms, so you can help someone else.
Yes.
And a chorister should be able to hear and be able to sing all parts.
Yes.
All parts.
Mm-hmm.
Soprano, you should be able to know how the alto sound. You shouldn't be able to know baritone. You should be able to know how bass, the
Yes.
notes in the bass. You should be able to teach all of that. But
Yes.
you have to study. You have to study in order to.
Absolutely.
So,
I,
I want to
I
be a
love.
chorister, okay, but you have to work with it.
There you go. That is beautiful, Saint Serena. I am so glad that you said that, and I'm gonna write that. I wrote that down. What I'm gonna call her Saint Leontine Price said. Sing on the interest, not the principle. I
And
like I
not the
like that. I like that.
Yeah, because
I
she said
like
if you
that
want to
a
sing a
lot.
long time, you have to preserve your voice. You have to.
Lord have
You
mercy.
have to.
I'm writing that down. That's going to stay close to me. Stay close to me. So kind of as we're turning the corner, kind of rounding toward the end of our comment. This has been absolutely wonderful, Saint Serena. God bless you. Are there any particular moments in your COGASOC career musically that stand out to you? Any memorable moments or moments that were particularly impactful to you?
Um, Not right off, but I mean, I guess I just admired certain people in the choir,
Mm-hmm.
coming up on a general level.
Yes.
I always admired, like Saint Dorothy Wagner, Saint Sarah Brent,
Yeah.
um, and I used to love to see Elder Tom Stevenson. Um,
Yes.
Anything that he did, I just admired him.
Yeah.
Brother Jake Cookhouse Sr. When I came
Yes.
to Belleville, he was very encouraging to me. He really was very encouraging to me. And a lot of times, and I didn't even know who this person was, but he would always call me Saint Jennifer, or something like that. But I think she
Mm-hmm.
was like the head soprano before Saint Dorothy was.
Oh
And he used to
wow.
call me
Okay.
a lot, but I
Okay.
never, I didn't know her, and I think she may have passed before I was even born. But he
Okay.
would call me that a lot.
Wow.
So, um, Brother Solomon Carey, just the staples in Belleville. I used to
Yes.
admire them from afar. And then once I
Yes.
moved here, I was like, wow, I'm here with
Yes.
them. So it was St. Jeanette Carey. I mean, I could just
Yes.
recall the role. St.
Yes.
Lawrence, and she was always, different times that I would be asked to direct and to see her, Sister Ella Priscilla, light up, as far as
Yes.
so encouraging, just singing, so it's, it's been, I've been blessed. That's
Yes,
all I can say.
indeed.
I have been blessed.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So I have two more questions before I get to our final question. So these are kind of off the cuff questions. So I like when it comes to the courses launch, I like to show that our choristers have balance. All right. So
Hmm.
always just like a quick thing. Say, Serena, just tell us a little bit about your professional pursuits. Because it's important that especially our younger singers and officers realize that there must be time to serve the Lord, all right? But we also
Hmm.
have to be balanced members of society and all those types of things.
Right.
Because we need funds too. We need funds, right? So just tell us a little bit about your professional your professional pursuits.
Well, right now I am an assistant professor at Hampton University. I teach in the Scripps Howard Journalism School. So I've been there full time since 2022. But before that, I was working part time there, and then working also at Elizabeth City State University as a online instructor there. So those are the main things that I'm doing right now. And of course, I'm involved in various organizations concerning my background in the communications field, National Association of Broadcast Journalists, Hampton Roads Black Media Professionals, Investigative Reporting Group, and things like that. So I'm out and do things in the community as well concerning trying to teach and students how to write better, how to communicate better, how to aspire to be journalists and strategic communicators and content creators, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main
Yes,
thing.
indeed.
And then,
Yes, ma'am.
while in Jacksonville, I was, as far as music is concerned, once I graduated from Florida A&M, I was involved in One Accord Ministries, which was a community gospel group. And so
Okay.
the whole time before I moved here, I was involved in that group as well. So that just kept the
Beautiful.
music flowing, not only in Father,
Yes.
but in the community as well.
Yes. Beautiful.
Mhm.
Beautiful. I love that. So you see that, lounge family, you can do all that and still have time to
Yes,
serve the Lord. Right?
absolutely.
It's important. It's
No
important. So
excuse.
that's amen. Amen. And not only are you the head soprano, you're co-chair of the Passover and Assembly Planning
Yes.
Committees. I mean, the responsibilities don't stop.
No, they
God
don't.
bless you.
They don't.
God bless you. But you wear so many hats and you wear them absolutely well. So like I said, one more question before I get to the last question. Have
Yes.
you been blessed with any compositions?
Oh, I have. I have. I have
Ah,
a
just
few.
just just
One
talk a little bit
one
about
comp
your composition, the composition process. Yes, ma'am.
just one composition that, as a matter of fact, there's a group of us that are doing some recording for us, new compositions, and one of them happened to be mine.
Yes,
I have a
indeed.
composition, "Behold, God is my salvation," out of Isaiah 12, and that's the one that we have rehearsed and that is out there. But I have several, but that's the main one that's out there right now. That hopefully in the near future that we will be able to hear.
Behold, God is my salvation. I will trust and not be afraid. For the Lord Jehovah is my strength and my song, and He is
Yes, ma'am, Saint Serena. Well, those in the lounge family know me. I am a proponent of new compositions, and I want to certainly be encouraging to our contemporary composers. So I'm
Yes.
asking that the Lord continue to bless you with inspiration, and that
Yeah.
we as a congregation fall back in love with that composition process, not just the
Right.
process. And I think I can see things kind of change a little bit in terms of our receptivity and our reception
Mhm.
of these new compositions. So I'm certainly praying that we don't just stop at that one composition, Saint Serena. We get all that
Oh
the
yeah.
Lord has blessed you with. So
Because
I'm so happy to hear all of
tunes,
that.
yes, tunes and words come to me all of the time, and I just have to stop and say, okay, this is what I need to do with this one. This is what I need to do with that one. So, yeah, they're out there.
Yes,
God reveals
indeed.
those things to you. I'm a
That's
witness to that for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So we're now at the point of kind of talking about just encouragement and just legacy. So, kind of our last question for all of our guests. And again, this has been absolutely wonderful time spent with you, Saint Serena, and just thank you for just like I said, carving out some time out of your schedule for us here in the lounge. But what words of encouragement? You've already done a little bit of this, but what words of encouragement do you have for this generation of singers and this generation of choristers?
One thing is to be true to yourself. Um, be who you are. It's good to have role models and mentors. Um, and a lot of times we kind of emulate those that are that we like, and we kind of want to go to their style or whatever. But be true to yourself. If that's not you, don't try to force it. Ask God to give you your uniqueness. That
Yes.
we need to definitely do. Also, I try to encourage my young people to be dedicated as much as possible.
Yes.
Um, if you say you're going to do something, try your best to do it. Follow through. Be consistent. Consistency is very important. If you are a member of the choir, and we have service on Friday night and Sabbath day, unless there's a serious situation or you're ill or whatever, try to be consistent as much as possible. Try to be there. Um, Try not to make too many excuses as to why you cannot be in your seat. If you were appointed a singer, and singing is and being in the choir is so much part of our organization's services. I mean, if nothing else happens on this Friday night or Saturday, there's going to be some singing.
That's
Okay,
right.
so just try to be consistent. Try to be dedicated to it. Um, and also respect leadership. Respect leadership, even if things may not be the way that you think that you need it to be. It's better to respect that person than to outright be disrespectful. Um, uh, you have people that may be older than you, may have people maybe younger than you. That's if they are your leader as far as the director or whatever, respect that. Respect that. I mean, age shouldn't have anything to do with respect. So
Hmm.
make sure that you respect leadership. Just like I said, things may not be where you want them to be, and you may not agree with certain things, but it's best to talk, off to the side with that person if you have some kind of problem. Just talk it out, but just don't be totally disrespectful.
Yes.
And also, being a singer, if there's a choir rehearsal, if there's a choir rehearsal, if you can make it, go, be there, be there. You know, the only way that we're going to improve is if we put ourselves in the situation and actually learn when we go to these various choir rehearsals. And if you are serious about being a singer, if you're serious about being a chorister, you need to make your presence known. If you say you're going to sing or whatever, but when it comes to choir rehearsal, you have nothing to do with that. you might need to rethink whether or not you are really a singer in the Church of God Saints of Christ. So those are the main things. I just love this.
Yes, ma'am.
COGASOC, I just love it. And I want to see us progress. But we have to progress together, and we have to encourage others to come along. Let's go. Let's do this thing. Let's get this done. We're blessed, with God on our side, and to have the leadership of Rabbi McNeil, who encourages everyone, so loving and
Yes,
encourages everyone. There's no excuse not to do at this point, really. So we've got to put our shoulders to the wheel and make it better. Do whatever we can on our end to make things better. So I encourage any young people that may be looking, and older people as well.
that's right.
Let's do
That's right.
better. Let's do better.
That's
There's no excuse at this point. God has been good to the house of Israel, and so we really need to do what we can to make things better for everyone. That's my advice.
Amen. Amen. Truth, and so be it. I don't think that there's any other commentary that I need to give on that. I think the weight of those words, Saint Serena, and not just the weight of the words, but the spirit in which you gave them. I guess with the spirit in which that you've always carried yourself, and the spirit that just kind of always exudes from you, speaks volumes. All right. So someone
Appreciate
said, let a word to the wise be
it.
sufficient, and let's
Mm-hmm.
really, Lounge family, take those words to head and to heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you find yourself maybe on the side of that where there is, a need for improvement, hey,
Mm-hmm.
let's do it, right? Because it's in
Yes,
our hands.
absolutely.
It's in our
It
hands now.
is. It is.
And we really want to make sure that the generation that comes behind us is left, a legacy that they can be proud of, right?
Yes,
Um, just
absolutely.
just 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 like we're listening to some of those old recordings, and we want to kind of reach that standard. It's our
Yes,
time. It's our time.
yes,
But with that comes a great responsibility, to be present, to really take the time to study and try our best, to work toward perfecting our craft. That
yes.
mark of perfection is a mark that we may never get to, right? But we should be striving
Right.
toward it. All right.
Striving. That's
Um,
what you have to do. Strive.
that's it.
If you
That's it.
can't
So
hit it, at least you tried.
that's it. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
If the word is the clue, you can find the tune. Song Association.
All right, Saint Serena. So we're going to jump into our song association portion of today's episode. So for those of you all that are new to the Choristers Lounge, what we do
Okay.
in this particular segment is that we're going to give our guest a few words, and we're going to see what musical selections come from their musical mind based on that word that's given. All right. So I have 3 words here for you, Saint Serena. And some of them will kind of be obvious. At least 2 of them will kind of be obvious as to why I selected them. We'll talk a little bit about that. But if I were to give you, Saint Serena, the word seek, what song comes to mind?
Seek ye the Lord.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Can you
Seek
give?
ye the Lord while he may be found. Incline thine ear unto him, for he shall go out with joy and be brought forth with peace. The mountains and the hills shall break forth into sing.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
I
ma'am.
tried.
Yo, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. And just Saint Serena, just from a historical perspective, for some of maybe our younger loungers, right, that may not know maybe the history or the significance of that song. Is there anything that's significant about that verse that you can share?
Well, a lot of times that was one of the staples as far as sopranos to see whether or not they're able to do that particular because it is a soprano solo. So,
Yes, ma'am.
some people, some voices were tested, and even at gatherings, every now and then they would pick a soprano, different sopranos, to take the lead on that song.
Yes, ma'am.
Before they sang the whole song. So, I guess that just happened to be a staple when it comes to the sopranos.
Absolutely,
One of
absolutely.
our
I think there's a recording out there, Saint Serena, from a gathering, and I don't know what year, but definitely they had different sopranos to take that lead. So absolutely.
Mhm.
So you passed perfect, as we
Appreciate
say.
that. I appreciate
Yes,
that.
ma'am. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. All right. So second word, if I give you the word commandments, what song comes to mind?
My mother composed a song years ago called the first verse of the song is I will oh Lord, it's almost blank to me. But anyway, I will sing a new song. That's the name of the song. It is actually in the songbook, in the hymnal. I will
Yes,
sing a new
ma'am.
song. And one of the verses in that song is the Lord is a friend to them that keep his commandments. And
Yes,
I
ma'am.
sometimes I've heard um, actually the Atlanta Tabernacle would sing that particular verse every now and then, and I was wondering. I said, "Wow, they're singing that song. Do they realize that's my mother's one of the verses of my mother's song?" So
Yes,
um,
yes.
that song. For the Lord is a friend to them that keep his commandments. For the Lord is a friend to them that keep his holy law. For the Lord is a friend to them that keep his commandments. For the Lord is a friend to them that keep his holy law.
Amen. And I need to learn that song in its
Okay,
entirety. So I will be
okay,
coming to you offline to get that song.
okay,
Yes, indeed. Yes,
okay.
indeed. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. So this last word that I have for you, curious, you can go a lot of different ways with this, but there's a particular um, selection I have in mind. See if you can maybe see where I'm headed. If I give you the word cross, what song comes to mind?
Song Saint Althea Perry composed years ago.
That's it.
And every now and then we sing that song in Belleville right around Passover time just to
Come on
refresh
now.
ourselves.
Yes,
Um,
indeed.
and it goes similar to this. They did cross the Red Sea. They did cross over. They did cross in the first month. They did cross over. They did cross the Red Sea. They did cross over in the first month of cross over. They did cross the Red Sea. They did cross over. They did cross in the first month. They did cross over. They did cross the Red Sea. They did cross over in the first month of April. Cross over.
I'm over here trying not to
That's the
sing
verse.
because I know it's going to bleed into everything, and I'll throw it all off. That was beautiful. There's
Thank
some
you.
some fire in that verse, spirit in that song.
Mm-hmm.
We need that to go out. Also, so I'm glad, Lounge family, you now got a little taste of that wonderful piece. That's also in the songbook, if I'm not mistaken. So
Hmm.
that is, I think it's called. Is it this day? Is it this day
This
came ye
day
out?
came ye out. Yes, this day came ye out.
Yes, yes. So a beautiful song, and coming out of the Passover Memorial, just a beautiful song to just plant a seed for us to come back to, maybe next year, and even kind of moving into this wonderful time of Shavuot, right? So that's a
Right.
beautiful piece, beautiful song there. So Saint Serena, you're in beautiful and great voice. That was
I
absolutely
appreciate it.
wonderful in this song association. God bless you.
Appreciate it.
God bless you. That was absolutely wonderful. So Saint Serena, thank you so much. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
giving us this time. This has been wonderful. Learned so much about your journey and about those that influenced your overall involvement with the choir, and you certainly have been, continue to be, and will be, a pillar within the congregation, specifically a staple within the Union Choir organization. So, we thank you. We can't thank you enough as a chorister, right? We can't thank you enough, right, for who you are, what you represent, just for always being there. Just for always being there, and like
Appreciate
not
it.
just being there, but the spirit that you exemplify. You are certainly a role model and example for so many of us to follow. Some of us have tried, right, to follow.
Hmm.
So we're just thankful that we're still able to worship with and fellowship and try to perfect this musical craft with you. And we know that so much of the musical success that the choir has had and will continue to have is a direct result of your participation in being in who you are and being in that head seat. You certainly, are in the canon of some great singers, some great people within the Church of God and Saints of Christ. And it's just an honor and a privilege to continue to serve with you. And just thank you so much for just giving us a little bit of your time this evening.
I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much. I enjoyed this. I really did.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. It was
Yeah.
it was our it was our pleasure, Saint Serena. So, Lounge family, again, thank you so much for tapping in to the Courses Lounge, and we look forward to welcome you again the next time the Courses Lounge opens its doors. God bless and keep you is my prayer.
And shout, thou inhabitants of Zion, for great is the Holy One in the midst of thee. Cry out and shout, thou inhabitant of Zion, for great is the one in the midst of thee. Cry out and shout, thou inhabitant of Zion, for great is the Holy One in the midst of thee. And in that day thou shalt say, praise the Lord, call upon his name. And in that day thou shalt say, mention that his name is exalted. And in that day thou shalt say, praise the Lord, call upon his name. And in that day thou shalt say, mention that his name is exalted.
Thank you for joining us on the Coursters.
Important to you. Come on in and sit on down. Listen as we break it down.